Something felt wrong, terribly wrong. The park was supposed to be filled with laughter, sunshine, and warm memories. But that afternoon, a man in an expensive suit sat frozen on a weathered bench, his shoulders trembling as if he were holding the weight of the world. No one approached him. No one dared. And yet at that moment, someone small, unexpected, and unbelievably brave walked toward him with tiny footsteps that would change his life forever. Before the story begins, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Hopeful Stories for more heart-touching stories. The autumn wind whispered through the nearly empty park as the CEO, Daniel Hart, sat with his head buried in his trembling hands, his eyes burning from sleepless nights and silent tears he hadn't allowed anyone to see. In the world's eyes, he was the unbreakable Daniel Hart, the man who built companies, closed billion-dollar deals, and stood tall in every storm. But today, life had hit him in a way no business failure ever could. His mother, the only family he had left, had passed away that morning, leaving a hollow ache that success, money, or status could never fill. He came to the park because she used to bring him here as a child, telling him that being strong didn't mean never crying. But he hadn't allowed himself that humanity in years. He felt cold, alone, and strangely small in a world that suddenly seemed far too big without her. He didn't notice the little boy who stood a few steps away, watching him with wide brown eyes, full of innocent concern. The boy, no older than 6, held a small toy truck in one hand and a melting ice cream cone in the other, his shirt slightly dirt-stained as if he had been playing in the mud moments earlier. He frowned, tilted his head, and slowly walked toward the broken-looking man on the bench. Daniel heard soft footsteps and quickly wiped his face, trying to erase any sign of his weakness. No one could see him vulnerable, not even a stranger. But when he looked up, he found himself staring into the earnest eyes of a child who saw right through him. Saw right through him. "Mister, are you crying?" The little boy asked, not with judgment, but with the soft curiosity only a child could have. Daniel tried to smile, shaking his head, but his voice cracked as he whispered, "No, buddy, I'm fine." The little boy blinked, clearly unconvinced. Without hesitation, he took a step closer and held out his melting ice cream cone like an offering of peace to someone who desperately needed it. "Well, my mom says when someone cries, ice cream helps. You can have this. I didn't lick this side yet," he said proudly. Daniel felt something warm break inside him, a strange mixture of sadness and tenderness. Thank you," he whispered, gently pushing the cone back. "But I'll be okay." The boy hesitated, then looked over his shoulder as if seeking permission. A few feet away, a woman, his mother, sat on a grassy patch, watching with a gentle smile. She nodded reassuringly. Encouraged, the boy turned back and said something Daniel would never forget. "Don't cry, mister. You can borrow my mom." The words hit Daniel like a soft but powerful blow. His chest tightened, but not from pain, more from the warmth that spread through him. The little boy tugged Daniel's sleeve and gently guided him toward the woman, who stood up with kind eyes and an understanding smile that somehow softened all his broken edges. "Me son worries about everyone," she said softly. "Are you?" Okay, Daniel wanted to say he was fine, but the truth rose in his throat like a tide he could no longer hold back. And for the first time in years, he allowed himself to be human. He told them his mother had died that morning, and the woman listened without interrupting, her presence calm and compassionate. When he could no longer hold back, tears streamed down his face, but he didn't feel embarrassed. The woman softly touched his shoulder, and the little boy wrapped his small arms around him as if trying to glue all the broken pieces back together. "It's okay to cry," the boy whispered, repeating the same words Daniel's mother used to tell him when he was small. In that moment, something inside him healed just a little. He didn't know why these strangers cared, but he felt something he had lost: warmth, connection, humanity. Little did he know that meeting them today was only the beginning, and his lonely life was about to change in ways he never imagined. Daniel found himself sitting on the grass beside the woman and her little boy, feeling strangely grounded for the first time in years. The world slowed down around them, the distant laughter of other children, the golden sunlight filtering through the leaves, the gentle hum of life continuing even when someone's heart felt shattered. The woman introduced herself as Maya and her son as Aiden. They listened without judgment as Daniel spoke about his mother, about how she raised him alone, how she sacrificed everything, how she never once stopped believing in him, even when he worked himself to exhaustion and forgot what truly mattered. As he talked, Maya didn't try to fill the silence with empty words. She simply let him speak, and when he had nothing left to say, she offered him the simple comfort of presence, something he didn't even realize he was starving for. Aiden sat beside Daniel, showing him his toy truck and telling him stories about his school, his friends, and how he didn't like math because the numbers shouldn't have letters in them. His innocent chatter softened Daniel's grief in a way nothing else could. It reminded him of childhood, of simpler times, of laughter he hadn't heard in his own life for far too long. When Aiden suddenly climbed onto his lap without asking, Daniel felt something inside him melt. The child trusted him without hesitation, without knowing who he was, without expecting anything in return. A kind of love he hadn't felt since he was a child himself. Maya watched the scene with gentle eyes. "You know," she said softly, "a grief doesn't go away, but it gets lighter when shared." Daniel nodded, wiping away tears he no longer felt ashamed of. "I didn't realize how lonely I've been," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. Maya placed a comforting hand over his. "Sometimes life breaks us so we can rebuild differently, stronger, kinder, and not alone." As the sun began to set, casting warm orange hues across the park, Maya reached into her bag and pulled out a small container of food. "We brought extra," she said, offering it to him. My mom always said feeding someone is another way of saying you care." Daniel's throat tightened again, not from pain, but from gratitude. He accepted the food, feeling as though he had just been handed something priceless. The three of them ate together on the grass, and for the first time since his mother's passing, Daniel felt like he belonged somewhere again. Aiden leaned against him, sleepy but smiling. "Mister, you're not sad now, right?" he asked. Daniel gently ruffled the boy's hair. "I'm still sad," he said honestly, "but I'm not alone anymore." Smiled proudly, as though he had accomplished something heroic. "And my mom helps everyone. She helped me when I cried because my dad left. She can help you too." Maya's eyes softened with a hint of sadness, but she didn't shy away from the truth. "A life has taught me that everyone deserves someone to sit beside them on the hard days," she said. "And today, maybe you needed that someone." Daniel nodded, realizing how deeply he needed exactly what he had found here, real human connection. When it was time for Maya and Aiden to leave, Daniel felt a pang of sadness, not ready to let go of the warmth they had brought into his day. But before they walked away, Maya handed him a small piece of paper with her number on it. "You don't have to face the hard days alone," she said softly. "A call if you ever need company, or a friend, or just someone to listen. Aiden hugged him tightly one last time and whispered, "Remember, you can borrow my mom anytime." As Daniel watched them walk away, he felt a profound shift inside him, not the disappearance of grief, but the beginning of healing. He knew that life had brought him to this park not to mourn alone, but to find the connection he had lost. And as he stood up, feeling the cool evening breeze brush against his face, he whispered a quiet promise to himself. He wouldn't go back to being the lonely CEO who hid behind success. He would let people in. He would let himself feel. And he would not let this unexpected kindness fade. Little did he know, Maya and Aiden would soon become far more important to him than just strangers offering comfort. They would become the family he never knew he needed, stitching warmth into the cold spaces of his life, reminding him that even in the deepest sorrow, hope always finds a way back. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe to Hopeful Stories for more emotional and inspiring stories.